There you go. Nice and easy. Today we got an S chassis photo shoot, so I'm going to be taking down the 240. Unfortunately, last night when we were driving it down to dinner, the rear wheel bearing decided to completely take a shit. So what we have to do is pull the wheel bearing off, get a new rotor. Hopefully the calipers are okay. You can see it actually started to take pieces of the caliper off on both of them. So we'll take it out, clean them up, make sure the pads are all right, which they shouldn't be. So I'll probably get pads, rotor. Lucas is actually bringing down a new wheel bearing because they don't stock wheel bearings anymore, and they're like a week out to get them into town. So I'm gonna get the calipers off, the rotor off, the axle out, and then I'm gonna pull the arms off and get that. So usually I can leave the bottom one on, so I don't have to pull the actual ball joint. So I'll leave that hanging, pull the wheel bearing out, and then hopefully by that time Lucas will be here. We'll get the new one swapped in, and we'll head down to the chute. The play was so bad in the wheel bearing that when I took out the front caliper, the rotor came off, and then this nut had backed off and smashed the cotter pins. So I just cut it with the grinder. And when I took the nut off, the hub, it literally came apart, which is pretty impressive actually. So, you know, I've never had one fail like this. I'm sure it's fairly common if the nuts come off, because this was finger tight. So that was my bad. I put these wheel bearings together probably 2 years ago, and you know, I didn't even think to torque them down again when I got the car ready, which is my mistake. I'm gonna check the other side before we leave, just in case. The other one doesn't have any play in it, so I'm sure it's fine, but we'll double check just in case. So yeah, I'm hoping. There was a grinding noise in the rear end. I thought it was the differential, so I'm hoping this was, I mean, obviously this was an issue, but it didn't sound like a wheel bearing. It sounded like a differential grinding. So hopefully this takes care of that issue and I won't have to deal with that, because that would be terrible. I'm hoping the axle's okay, because the splines look a little rough actually, so hopefully everything works out there. It looks a little seized actually, so we will dig a little farther and figure this out. As I thought, the hub assembly is actually seized to the axle splines. So if you look right here, the splines are actually pretty messed up on the outside of this hub. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get back to these nuts, these bolts here, and take the bolts out and then get some leverage behind here so I can pry it forward without marring up the aluminum dual caliper plate as much as I can. If not, I'm gonna take a grinder to the hub itself, try and get some of the gunk out of there, and then I'm gonna hit it, put this nut back on and hit it with the hammer, see if I can get the axle back out, but that's in a perfect world. All right, so we got all the bolts out, but the axle is still seized to the hub. So I'm gonna take a grinder to it, get a screwdriver behind there, and see if I can get a pry bar back there, and then start prying this off. If not, we'll have to cut this off and then get a new axle. fun part. Got to get this collar off the axle. It's pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie. Instead of cutting this off and ruining that axle and using the marred splines, I'm just gonna go get me a new axle here. I'm gonna return some things to Napa. The rotor and brake pads too. I just got back with the parts. Got the axle, brake pads, brake rotor, and I actually remembered to get the shim out of the old rotor, so that's good. This goes right in here to center it up on the hub properly, because this is for a Ford and this is a Nissan, so yeah. So get this all put together, and then I gotta wait for Luke to bring the bearing, and then should be good to go. I got the old one out. This is the bearing that's seized onto the splines, and here's the new one. So all we gotta do is change the brake pads and put this all back together and wait for Luke to bring the bearing.
Oh, no. There you go. Nice aim.
Y'all just in time too. What's up, Brody?
Exhaust is rattling.
The wastegate?
I don't know, something. We shall see.
Ooh. Lucas.
Did you have the core right
Came
away?
out here. No, I didn't core anything. What are you gonna core? Look at that.
The whole thing.
I mean, look at the splines, bro, like welded together.
It's just four.
I'm actually quite impressed with these. These are actually, they're used, but they're solid. Pop this thing together, and then I gotta wash the car. It's
Yeah, I won't.
covered in tires. You gotta fix that downpipe too? Back together, got everything in, axles in, cotter pins, brake pads. Had to clearance the brake calipers because it skimmed off some of the material. So now we just go rip it. All right, just cleaning the cars up a little bit. Gonna go down, get some fuel, and then head on over to the meet. $2.40 meat. No, take that shit home. No one wants that here. Everybody's got those taillights except me, bro.
Same, bro.
Honestly, I haven't seen this 1940 one spot in like 3 years. Except, oh, Collie. Alright, no toast. One Jay-Z? No. No, it's beautiful. was beautiful.
Dude, that was nasty, bro. Yeah.
Expecting that, huh?
That's good.
Yeah,
It was really good.
Fuck yeah.
Now I wish I had tires on.
I know.
Oh. Is that open diff?
I don't know. Yeah, it has to be.
You gotta weld that shit, bud. That's what we call one-wheel wonders. Scaring me a little. Alright, about to do some entries from the side of the building here. What is he doing, like 120 mile an hour entries? Okay, cool. You're fired! You're fired! The guy. Showed up, so we're all dipping. I was gonna slide my car, but these tires are not conducive for that, so next time. But that'll do it for this video. Like that shit, subscribe, leave a comment, keep up with your boy.